Actually, I should do... Yeah, that's right. There we go. Yeah, so I'm currently watching the hockey game, but I just wanted to say hi, everybody. Hope you are enjoying your time, whatever time it is when you're watching this, because right now it's evening for me, but it could be morning for you, it could be very late at night, you know, whatever. And actually, let me fix this. Make that look a little better. Appearances aren't everything, but they help. There we go. That's a little better. Because right now it's just after 7 o'clock. The Flames game is on. It's currently 0-0 against the Penguins. But it's 3-0 for shots for Calgary. So, yeah. Anyways. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going? Definitely appreciate you coming on the live stream. Like I just got finished saying, actually, I'm watching the hockey game at the same time, so I will be back and forth between the two, the chat here and that. I just figured, you know what, I'm a little bored at the same time. Like, don't get me wrong, I love watching hockey, but at the same time, it's like, I haven't done a live in a little bit, and I haven't really put up much content lately, so I decided, hey, why not do this? That's good. That's definitely good. I'm doing great as well. Actually, finally, my carburetor jets should be here tomorrow. So, yay! I thought I wasn't going to get those till at least December because of the shutdowns in BC right now with the road closures and whatnot due to the flooding and the rock slides. So, but luckily though, it left Calgary today, so it should be in the box tomorrow. So, fingers crossed, because then I can actually put out a video for you guys. And also, I might put out a video as well on how to bleed the cooling system of air in a... Well, in my aluminum. Because it doesn't have heat, and I think it's because of there's air in the system. Which is... They actually make it really easy to bleed the system. Because, like my Mustang, for example, it's not an easy thing to do. You just have to, you know, cycle the coolant a bunch. With this, you don't have to, though. It's kind of convenient that way, so... Yeah. So, and I meant to film that today, but didn't get around to it. Then I was helping my dad put on his winter tires, and I had some issues with my own health doing that, so I was only able to help him with 2, and then he did the other 2, so that's fine, you know. I wish I could have helped him with all 4, but that's okay. So close. They're getting so close to scoring. Yeah, ooh, we're up to 4 viewers now. Awesome. Ooh, frick, that's close. Jeez. Hey, old school, how's it hanging? Definitely appreciate you coming on to the live stream. And before you ask, there are 0 updates on the Civic, so, you know. Oh, pretty good, Jason. How's it hanging with you? Hope you're having a fantastic time, and I definitely appreciate you coming on to the live stream. I knew you were going to ask, so. Because you always ask, right? You always ask about the Civic, which I don't blame you, to be honest. Like, it's just like, when there's a Civic, you guys, or when there's an update on the Civic, you guys will hear about it. It'll be on the channel, either on my community tab, or there will be a video come out, probably before a live stream. It's no worries. I was just letting you know. Or anybody for that matter, if anybody's wondering about the Civic, that there will be an update on it when I do have one. No, actually. The Lumina, it wasn't for sale for a bit. Just got a new battery in it the other day, because you may have seen my little short video going how much of a pain it is to put a battery in one of those. Like, it is such a stupid design. But now that new battery's in, it starts every time and it's fine. But I just put out, it's under a minute. Actually, the weather has been fantastic here. Like today, I think it got up to 8 degrees, but 8 degrees with the sun not really out and a little breezy. So it was a little chilly, but For this time of year, it's fantastic, and I am not complaining one bit. I absolutely love the weather lately. You know, like the other day, it got up to 14 degrees, which was just like, oh, that's perfect. You know, I was out in a t-shirt and shorts. It was great. I loved it. But yeah, not too many days like this left. So
The perfect holiday gifts for hockey fans on your list at NHLShop.ca. Shop the largest
oh, that's
selection of
cool.
official
Very
NHL
nice,
gear now.
and that'll be a nice thing to have. To be honest, I should see about doing that with my Mustang as well, but you know, it's just one of those things. Oh yeah, to be honest, the Lumina is a cool car, like, and it is in pretty good shape, although it does have some body damage, but no rust. That's its strong point. It's got some creasing down the side of the body. The one quarter panel is creased pretty bad from what looks like probably a baling fork. And then there is a hole in the trunk lid about that big. From, I'm assuming, the tip of a baling fork that went into it, so. Hey Dave, yeah, I am actually having a pretty good night. Hope yours is doing fantastic too, and thank you for coming out to the live stream. I definitely appreciate it. Wow, we're up to 5 people already. This is awesome. I love it. You guys are making my night, to be honest, because I would, like, the thing is, when I do these live streams, I'm not ever sure that people are going to show up, and typically people do, but it just depends on how long people stick around for and all that. And I understand people are busy and whatnot, and that's totally fine. I never prompt these lives either. I just do them whenever. I've only ever prompted one live I've ever done. So yeah. Or actually, I think I prompted 2 lives. But, you know. So it is pretty cool. And, yeah. I've, you know, like the Lumina, though, because it has no heat right now, so it's been a difficult set. So, tomorrow, I meant to do it actually yesterday, and I didn't, and then I meant to do it today, and I didn't. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get out there, I'll bleed the cooling system, hopefully that brings the heat back, and then we can sell the car much easier. You'd think so, but I mean, the thing is, I've gotten quite a few $1,000 offers, but nobody's come with cash. So, you know, and I'd sell it for $1,000. That actually gives a profit. Not much of one, but it does give a profit on it. Oh, cool. I definitely appreciate it. And I mean, yeah, and I know Old School, you're in every single one of my lives. Like, I think you've only ever missed, like, 1 or 2 of my lives. And I've done, what, 15 to 20 or so? Give or take? So, yeah. No, and I definitely appreciate it. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for coming out to my lives. Which, yeah, and I mean, as I was saying at the beginning of this, before everybody jumped in, actually, my carburetor jets should be here tomorrow, so there'll be a video on that and how to exactly get them in and all that different stuff. It's very, very simple to do, to be honest. And what's cool is that I don't have to actually remove the carburetor from the motor. I don't have to remove anything. The only thing that I have to do is remove the top off the carburetor. It's one of the few carburetors that you can do that with. Is the Motorcraft carburetors. They're fantastic for that. Like, there's actually a video on Roy Marco Garage's channel. It's a quick little short video that shows the carburetor with the top off, and it's actually running on the car. It's a pretty neat video, to be honest, just to see everything functioning in the carburetor. And plans for this week? Other than with the carburetor jets? Not really. And hopefully getting the heat working in the Lumina and doing a video on that, as well as kind of a how-to thing, which it's a very easy thing to do. The only thing is, there's not a proper temperature gauge, so I'll just have to wing it and, you know, do it that way. So not a big deal though. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have any plans this week. No, we haven't done our car mates in a bit because it's just been colder and getting dark really early now because of the stupid time change and all that different stuff. You know, and It's been cold overnight. Like, as soon as that sun goes down, it's just freezing cold. But during the day, it's nice. So, it's one of those deals right now. No, Jason. I'm in Alberta. Those floods happened in BC. So, also floods did happen, I believe, in out east as well. Arapita. I'm not even sure what that means. Arapita to get bled. Well, the thing is though, it's very simple to bleed the system in those because actually on each side of the motor there should be two. There are at least I know there's one for sure. Oh, okay, pain in the ass. Makes sense. It's actually very easy to do, to be honest, because the thing is, there are two valves on each side of the motor. You open both of them up while having the engine up to running temperature, like properly warmed up, and you make sure that it's vented through the overflow. It does it by itself. It's very simple, and then all you need to do is make sure you have the top of the rad cap off a little bit, and just add coolant. It's as easy as that. Um, makes it much simpler versus, say, my Mustang, where you're just at a shot in the dark. Hi, Mustang House. By the way, my name is not Catherine. My name is Katarina. It's in the name of my YouTube channel. But no worries. Definitely appreciate coming to the live stream. Hope you're doing well. And actually, I don't recognize your name, so that's a new person to the live. That's awesome. I love that. But yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I didn't hear about any flooding here in Alberta, but it's not to say that it didn't happen. I haven't been paying attention very much to the news, and the news has been with the floods over in Newfoundland and the floods in BC. So no worries. It's all good. It happens. Not a big deal. Okay, you don't start that. No, no, no. You brat. I always pay attention to the news for the most part, but there's been some stuff that I obviously miss. Oh yeah, it's definitely true. I know those engines did have because they have aluminum heads, it does make it a little more difficult to try and do stuff to it. This is true. But at least they give you the provisions of doing it a lot easier versus the old school method, which is literally keeping the rad cap off, letting it overflow, and then just pouring more in, right, when all the air gets out. And you just make a mess. So, but, it's all good.
There's responsibility on the hitters to make safe hits, and I'll tell you what, there's guys that I've said thank you to me because I've seen them in vulnerable positions and I haven't finished them. Now let's take a look. This just minutes ago. There's Lucic going on again.
But yeah, yeah, so no, I am quite excited though to finally get my carburetor jets in, hopefully, like I said, tomorrow. Because then the car should run so much better. Will no longer be running rich, shouldn't really misfire anymore. Should be a great deal. And for people saying that, hey, carburetor jets can't cause a misfire, well, actually they can, you're just stupid. Because with too much fuel being dumped in, it can make the engine misfire. It's interesting how that works. And most people don't think about that. They think of ignition and everything like that, and I've been through everything on that car. The only thing I haven't touched is the distributor, but the distributor works, so... Oh, that's cool. From Illinois. Cool. I get people from all over watch my content. It's kind of neat to hear where people are from. Because I know actually I have some Aussie and Kiwi people, which is, you know, New Zealand. I also have a few from Germany and stuff like that too. It's pretty cool. I got the demographics for that. Huh. Well, I mean, like I said, they give you the provisions of making it easier, but it doesn't mean that it'll be easy. But I am gonna show how to do it on camera, and if it doesn't work, I will explain why. Because again, there are multiple defects of those motors. There's still a fantastic engine, those 3.1s. But it was the 2.8, the 3.1, and 3.4s all had these same issues that way. But to be fair, they are all relatively the same inside. And somebody, that may have been Jason actually that mentioned that. That putting a 3.8 supercharge in it would make an ultimate sleeper. I mean, that would be really cool to do, but you know, I'm not keeping it. It'd be a cool card keep, but I'm not keeping it. It's just, um, you know, I don't really have a need for it as much with the other car that I have coming. So, I mean, I would love to do that, to be honest, but it's a lot of work, and especially when you don't have a proper place to work on your vehicle, it gets rather tough to do like an engine swap. And especially an engine swap in a front-wheel drive, it makes it even more of a pain in the ass. So, you know, that's one of those deals, right? Because rear-wheel drive, well, it's so simple. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do. I will show the entire process of, you know, warming up the car, doing it that way, opening the valves, making sure that the overflow is open as well, because you need to do that. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And stuff like that. And actually, I did not see your message there. Let me just go back. Yeah. And it's annoying, but that's okay. You know, like, the thing is, I could borrow somebody's shop, don't get me wrong. I have a couple of people that I could borrow their garages pretty well. But it's also, the thing is, I've never actually done an engine swap. Ever. I've never pulled the transmission out of a car either. Don't get me wrong, the tranny is very easy to do. Don't get me wrong, it's not an easy thing to do by yourself, and especially pulling a motor by yourself, it's a bit of a pain too. And even putting it back in is even more of a pain. But, I know the steps and everything, I've just never done it. So, never had a vehicle to swap the motor out of. Like, when I had Lilo, you know, with a bad motor, we were going to do that, but ended up selling the car. So, you know, at some point on my channel, I'll have a vehicle for an engine, but right now, I don't have one, so. Plus, also budget, too. It's it's a bit rough with everything going on right now. Similar. Yeah, I think they were different, but it's not that hard to do, from what I've heard. She is a person in town. Why?
It's the Drive It Home holiday event.
I do know her. I've met her.
This season, we're bringing
Why are you asking?
Number one in new vehicle quality. Get up to $9,750 in discount.
I'm assuming you're mentioning it because of the one comment on my video or on my live, but I'm just curious why you were asking though, because I'm.
With 10% off MSRP and up to $2,000 in loyalty cash. It's the most wonderful time of the year. The Drive It Home holiday.
Of course she is. Like, I don't. That was ridiculous. I mean, I don't want to get too far into that, like, especially here in the live, but I definitely appreciate you telling me that, though, because it's getting old. Like, seriously, you know? Like, I know what they're doing. They're just trying to put down my stuff and whatever else and blah, 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 but I'm not here for it. I took action before about it, but again, I don't really want to get into that. So, but I definitely appreciate you letting me know that. Yeah, because it's just frick. He's not a stalker, but I wouldn't say he's a stalker at all. But I appreciate it. I'll probably reach out maybe after the live. But yeah. Anyways, it it's a very screwed up situation. I don't really like talking about it as much because, again, I don't like to air it out that much. I do air out some stuff, and I do get criticized for it, and it's like, okay. The thing is, with my YouTube, and I'll mention this to you guys, that this is like kind of my home. I don't really have a lot of people that I can kind of depend on and that sort of thing. And you guys are essentially like an extended family for me. And it's really awesome all the love and support you guys give me. And that's why I put out the content that I do for you guys. I do as many lives as I do because you guys are so amazing to chat to. And I definitely appreciate every single one of you. So, yeah. Just thought I'd put that out there for you guys. And it does really put a smile on my face whenever you guys comment and stuff like that, and whatever else. It's, because, yeah, it's ridiculous. So, and now, so that is 4 different accounts now on Facebook that's been screwing with me. So, well. But that's horrible, Jason. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't understand why people would hack an Instagram account, especially an Instagram account that is not very big. Like, I can understand if it's a monetized account and you're trying to steal their monetization or whatever. It makes sense. But you don't make money off of your Instagram, so... it's okay. Most people do see that. There's just a couple of people who think what I do is fake and stuff like that. It's like, there's a reason why there's no editing. Like, right? Like, there's a reason why I do it the way I do it and have fun. And you know what? You see my mistakes. And you see, my triumphs too. And I'm not afraid to post those. Like, if it's a really bad error, I don't post it. Like, there was an oil change that I was filming, and it just was fighting me so bad that I decided, you know what? I'm not going to post that. I'll post how to do an oil change on my channel at one point, because there's going to be somebody that will want to know how to do that, I'm sure, which my car does need an oil change, but I can't afford oil right now. I do have a filter, but I don't have any oil, so. And you have a bunch of Vegas? That's pretty cool. Actually, oddly enough, I talked to, the guy with, I talked to the guy, I can't think of his name right now, because he accidentally called me the other day. And we had about a 10-minute conversation or so. Because he was trying to contact somebody else. And we chatted about his Cosworth. And actually he said that, oh yeah, he had a bunch of money saved up, but then unfortunately he had to spend it, or the bulk of it, so now he only has a little bit left to try and redo the Vega. And he will let me know when he is ready to work on it, because I will go out there and yeah, and I'll help him out with the build. We'll be recording everything here for YouTube, so it's pretty cool. And not very many people get to see a Cosworth Vega, let alone work on one. So I'm gonna find the experience very humbling that way. And I have not actually, haven't heard of that ship. Which, if I remind you of them, that's interesting. Because yeah, it's just most people aren't like me at all. Like I know I'm definitely abnormal when it comes to the car hobby for sure. Yeah. There's still not a hole yet. Oh, nope. Little too far. Okay. I'll have to look into that. Yeah. I'll have to look into that. See if I can find it somewhere. Because I haven't seen anything like that on TV. So, perhaps I can find it online or something like that. Because all the car shows I try and find. Oh, that's sad to hear. Sorry to hear that. I mean, well, the thing is, a regular Vega is easy to work on. However, a Cosworth Vega is a lot more complicated because of that electronic fuel injection on it. And yeah. Or are you talking about the Lumina there? Sorry, you mentioned Vegas and then he just mentioned Lumina, so now I'm confused at what we're talking about. But yeah, the Vega build will be so cool though to do on the channel. I can't wait for that. To be honest, it's just, you know, a matter of time before he calls me and says, "Hey, you know, I'm ready to begin." It's like cool, and then, you know, I'll be there with him, and I'm the only one of his like friends that have expressed interest in working on the car, you know. So yeah, and we're gonna do that, and it's not gonna be a hey showing you guys how to do this. It'll just be more of a some things I'll do as that, but then there'll be others where it'll be more of just showing you the progress of what we're doing. Because I know that there's a driveline vibration that I think is actually coming from the rear end. So we'll have to figure out, because that rear end is a special rear end too. And I wonder if he just thinks about swapping the rear end out of it, because that might be easier. You know, it's something that has a similar bolt pattern and stuff. Or I might convince him to do like a different rear end and then do a adapter for that bolt pattern, because I think it's 4x114.3 on that, I think. Because I don't think they're 5-lug. I think they're 4-lug. And it's a different bolt pattern. But oh cool, yay, go on the power play. Yay, Flames going on the power play. They've been really good on the power play, so hopefully they can score here. You know, and I'm very excited for that, and there's other videos that I am planning on doing too at some point, but the problem is, with it getting colder, and also me not having money to travel or anything, it's making it difficult to film these videos too. Because like that Supra video, I was hoping to do this summer, but didn't happen. I'll see, to be honest, I don't know a ton on the Cosworths. I know a little bit. Just a little bit. And, you know, I was, just for my research, you know, and I've never actually worked on a Vega, period. Well, that'd be cool. Yeah, and junkyard videos are fantastic, and they usually do really well, too. You know, all of my junkyard videos actually have a good amount of views. So, I have 3 of them. Yeah, oh yeah. Like, when I did that, the junkyard walk around of Bucks, that video has, like, what, 1,200 views now? Which is pretty good for my channel. You know, and it's interesting, because, like, when people get monetized, there are some people get really upset with when their videos don't do like super amazing, you know, that they don't get 5,000-6,000 views or whatever else. But for me, I'm just like, you know what? There are videos that I do. Some of them bomb. Like, don't get me wrong, but others are very fantastic. Oh, that's cool. Actually, yeah, it's very neat. I wish I would have been able to have that kind of opportunity. Oh, so close. Well, that's disappointing. Because, I mean, yeah, like, you know, the fact that scrapyards closed down is very, very sad. Um, I love going through junkyards. And, you know, and I have... And actually, I should check up on that. Actually, I should see how long ago it was. Because the guy who is building the louvers for my car... Because, yes, I have louvers, but I'm getting metal ones made. It's been a few weeks. Obviously, I don't expect, like, I told him there's no rush on them, whatever else, get it done when you can. Not the end of the world. And I understand there's a bit of R&D he has to do with it because it's different than what he's ever done because there's curvature. So, I haven't even heard of Eric the car guy. So... And, well, hey, Jason, I wish you luck in finding more junkyards to film. Because, yeah, it's fun. I love going to junkyards. I love filming them, too. You know, I have 3 junkyard tours. 2 of them are actually out at Greg's. So, you know. And the one particularly out at Greg's, which is part 2 of that junkyard tour, that one has a lot of views, but to be honest, I'm not surprised.
One thought about Elliot Freed. He's the best in the business. Knows all the workings of the league. He's always got skills.
Jeff Merrick,
Keeps Elliot in check.
truth is, he carries the podcast.
32 Thoughts the Podcast, presented by GMC.
See, the only channel I follow that has a fair amount is Straight Six Man. So.
And you want more, and then you want the whole thing for yourself.
See, like, and that's the thing. I typically don't watch very many channels that have a high amount of subscribers as much. There's a few, don't get me wrong, but you know, like you know, I follow Hoovie's Garage and stuff like that. And every once in a while, I'll see Car Wizard stuff and blah blah blah. But for the most part, I follow the smaller. No, what I have, it's an '81 Mustang. But it's a notchback. So that notchback does have a bit of a curve to the window. And yeah, I actually, for him to build these louvers for me, I actually had to pull glass out of the junkyard for it. And I delivered that glass to him, and ah, okay, cool. Actually, I think I recognize you from some comments in there. But yeah, and the thing is, nobody makes louvers for a notchback. There was only one company that ever did, and they were and basically, sorry, my brain's just malfunctioning. There we go. So there was a company called Willpack back in the 80s. They made them from 80 to 82, and they were ABS plastic. And they're very, very thin and flimsy. They broke down very quickly. So, you know, I have a set that survived, and they're currently on my car, but these aluminum ones that I'm getting made will be so much better than these plastic ones, and I won't have to worry about them. Although, credit to where credit's due, those louvers attempted to fly off on me, and they didn't, so they didn't break. So that's nice. Wait, and Roy is a fantastic, to be honest. You know, like, with me, I'm not only a fan of his channel, but also, like, me and him are actually pretty good friends. We do talk quite often to each other, like, you know, we text probably every few days. And, like, because I'll give him an update, actually, with my car. Because he's been the one helping me work on the car. Like, for example, he's He's the one that made the carb swap happen on my car. And also, he is the one that put the double roller timing chain in my car. Now, I did help with that, but he did the bulk of the work. I just did the disassembly. He did putting that on. So, yeah, and timing it correctly and everything like that. So that was nice. Ooh, nice shot. Did I miss? And yeah, actually, oh yeah, I mean, that thing, the thing is, and I want him to do this as a video, because it's so neat, because the flathead Fords have a cool party trick. Every single flathead Ford has this, including the flathead V12s from Lincoln. Because they're such low compression, and because they're not overhead valves, that you can actually take the head off of one side of the motor and run it. And it's pretty cool, because they're only like 3.5 to 1 compression. Like, really, really low. And because of that, you can do that. But yeah, and I can't wait, to be honest, to see that thing like going down the road and stuff like that. I meant to ask him if I could do a video on it when I was there, but... And, like, he had it running when I was there, but I didn't actually hear it run until the video, so... But yeah, it was pretty cool, you know. I've heard of them. I haven't watched any of their videos, but I have heard of Cold War motors. You know, the thing is, there are a few channels, like... The thing is, I would love to do a collaboration with YouTubers here in Alberta on videos. It'd be so cool. Like, obviously, I've done somewhat of collab with Roy Marco. You know, we've done videos off of each other. And, like, I filmed his collection. He filmed my car on his channel. And he's done a couple other small videos on my car on his channel. Like, for example... He showed, like I mentioned earlier in the video, running the car with the top of the carburetor off. He showed doing that on his channel. So, you know, and yeah, he's honestly fantastic guy. And I can't wait for the next time I see him. It's going to be a while. I don't really have any plans to go up to Edmonton anytime soon. So, plus, it's very expensive to go to Edmonton for me. Because for me, that's... 1 tank of fuel minimum, plus food, so I'm looking at minimum of $100 every time I go. And it's usually closer to 150, 200 because we're usually working on my car and we need carpet. But you know, he's helped me out with some parts and stuff like that too. Like when I bought the timing chain set, I totally forgot to buy seals and stuff like that, so he ended up buying them for me, so that was wonderful. And you know, we actually, not that this is a big deal, I could have bought it, but when we were doing the timing chain swap, somehow we lost the really long bolt that goes into the bottom of the alternator that basically holds it in place. And you know, it's just one of those deals that we lost it. So he ended up going to Princess Auto while I buttoned everything else up. And then once he got there, I quickly threw the alternator in. Within about 5 minutes of him coming home with that bolt, we got the car fired up, and then we started timing it. And yeah. And to be honest, well, it's probably still cheaper on gas here than it is over there in Ontario, but, because right now, now I get 3% off because I'm an AMA member, but at the local Shell here, it's a $1.37.9, so. Jason, yeah, we do. There's a refinery in Edmonton. Like, at least here in Alberta, there is one refinery in Edmonton, and a few years ago, that refinery blew up, but they've since rebuilt it. Because I remember, and then gas skyrocketed after that, because, again, the refinery blew up. So, yeah. $1.20 in Leduc. Frick, I wish. Yeah, so like I will pay $1.34 if the price stays the same on gas the next time I fill up. So because of my name A member, and Shell now gives you 3% off your name A member. So it's kind of nice. I can collect air miles and do that. So yeah, I can't speak for Ontario having any refineries or not, but. And I think for one to you, I would want to say that doesn't Newfoundland have refineries? I know they have drilling out in the ocean there, but I thought they may have. I could be wrong, but again, I don't pay attention to where the refineries are. Wow, it's actually cheaper there than here. What sorcery is this? That's sad, but that's okay. Like yeah, I always here in Alberta, you'd think it'd be cheaper. Oh.
It's wonderful to be back. What a great building, great fans, and I had a great time here. What stands out for you in your time here? I know you had such great relationships.
Sorry, just totally blank there for a moment. But yeah, no, there's not. And unfortunately for my channel, there's not a lot on the go at the moment. Like I have 2 videos planned. That's about it.
Everyone I met worked for the mustard seed or worked for special Olympics. The support in the community and altruistic and philanthropic functions is.
Yeah, see, and the thing is, with going into the pump and everything, it's a struggle at the moment because like nobody's getting a Christmas present this year because I'm that broke at the moment. That's where I'm at. So yeah, that's fine. Because like I'm gonna be paying off bills this time around. So yeah, nobody other than my dad is getting a Christmas present this year. And it's just how it works. I'll get presents later, but not now. And people hopefully understand that, but and yeah, and that's why I was hoping like to have a couple of vehicles sold by now, especially that Lumina, but it hasn't happened yet. And then I got sadly, I'm not that upset about it, but it's just like, oh man, the Suburban I was selling. Actually, the owner sold it himself, and just like, darn. So, oh well. Not the end of the world. So I didn't get a commission on that because I didn't sell it. Although I just had a lot of time into it, and I had a little bit of money, not much, but. Well, see, the thing is, my only car right now, because yes, there's the Lumina, but I'm not driving that currently. That was bought just to flip it. I was gonna keep it for a bit, then I ended up not doing that. So my only car is the Mustang. That's it. I don't have another car. There is the Civic, but again, that's not on the road. So the '78 Civic, which both of those cars actually have. My car has 123,000 kilometers on it. That Civic has 120,000 kilometers on it. Yeah. So. But yeah, so, and I don't get a lot of money from anything. Like, YouTube doesn't pay me very much either. Like, I got my first ever paycheck from YouTube after 3 months, and you know they took about $20 off, which was annoying, but oh well. And then yeah, and I'm at like it again. Haven't made a lot, but and unless if I make, I mean, I might be able to make it work where I get enough money to be able to be paid by the end of December, but not sure. We'll see. Yeah, that's ridiculous. But yeah, and I mean, and if this Jimmy actually comes to fruition, because it almost didn't happen the other day. I'm not gonna get into it, but it turns out this Jimmy is actually a 4-door, not a 2-door. So not as cool, but still, that's fine. But there would be some off-roady type videos, because it is a 4x4. It's got street tires on it, so it wouldn't be that good off-road. But hey, still, even the fail off-road video is still a good video. So, yeah. Depends how much I make. To be honest, I've only ever been paid once by YouTube, and because that's when I finally got monetized. Right now, I don't, because technically I don't get paid by YouTube. I get paid by Google, so it's a little different. But and when people super chat, I don't actually know what happens to that money because it doesn't go into the AdSense account. So that's kind of weird where that goes. I'm still trying to figure this out more. And yeah, I mean, with, you know, my car, when we get the Jimmy, when we get the Civic back, they all fit in front of our house, so it's fine. Technically, there's an ordinance here in town where you can't have more than 2 vehicles, but nobody's ever cared. So, and especially if all the vehicles run and they're plated, it doesn't matter. Like in worst case scenario, I can park something out at Greg's too. Technically speaking, yes. Like, as I'm doing this live right now, you could, if you wanted to, donate. There should be like a little $sign thing at the bottom, and it's a super chat, and you can put in as much or as little as you want into that. And like with me, how I get paid is technically through Google AdSense, where if where the more people watch my videos and watch the ads in my videos, the better. But also, I have my PayPal set up as well for anybody that wants to donate directly to my PayPal, because YouTube would actually, they take a cut out of everything. They take actually a sizable cut out of stuff. Plus taxes as well take a lot out of it, because, you know, my last paycheck wasn't much. Like, I mean, it was over $100, but that's the minimum. It's $100 to get paid out, and they took over $20 in tax. So PayPal is much better concerning that. Yes. I prefer PayPal, but if people want to do the super chats too, that's totally okay with me. Because I will never ever complain about free money, ever. Which actually, I should be careful at what I'm at for cash right now, because I totally forgot that I lent my bestie some cash, and then I just spent some today too. So I'm pretty close to my overdraft limit at the moment, but it's only a few more days, so I'm not too worried. So, you know, that would be cool. And if people would be willing to do that, I'm in, but I'm not gonna ask for that. You know, I will never ever on this channel physically ask for a handout unless if I desperately need it, right? The only time I ask for anything is with help. I never ask for it financially, so I'm not even sure exactly the breakdown on that Turlo. Because like my last pay period, it was supposed to be $128. I wound up getting 103. But then I know that they take a certain cut of, for example, because of the super chats and stuff like that too. So I don't know exactly the breakdown. I've tried deciphering it a little bit, but I need a couple of payments to be able to decipher it properly. But yeah, it's just one of those deals. And, you know, like, basically YouTube at the moment is just supplementing income. Eventually I'd love it for it to be my income, but it'll be a while for that. And there are some people that say, oh, you can't live off of it. Just like, I live off of hardly any money a month. So, you know, I can build this into something that I live off of. It's not ideal, don't get me wrong. But, you know, it's fine. And this is what I want to do now. This is kind of the dream of being able to build this into something that I can live off of and have fun. So that's why when people, for example, slander my name online, like what was happening, is I have to take it seriously because it can affect my livelihood that way. So, and I definitely appreciate that, old school. Thank you. Like, I am hurting, but you know, I'm not at a point where like, hey, I'm absolutely desperate, right? Yeah, and exactly, Jason. You know, and I love that aspect of being able to do that. Oh, damn. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that didn't go in and out. Damn, so close. But yeah, it's all good. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't sold anything for a while. I've gotten a couple bites in Illumina, but nothing concrete yet. I have this one guy that's like desperate to buy it, but he doesn't really have the money. He's wanting to do like a payment thing, or he's trying to find something to trade me for it. Like he offered me a quad, I'm just like, I don't want that. Quads are a pain in the ass to sell, and they're never worth what people think they are. Especially older ones like this one was. So, yeah, it's just one of those deals. You know, like I tell people, I am open to trading the Lumina for another car, a truck, but you know, an SUV, or guns, or even a motorcycle. That's really it. Because those are stuff that, well, I mean, I don't know the guns as much as my dad, but you know. There can be a lot of money in vinyl records. I do know that. I'm just not knowledgeable in vinyl records to sell them. So, like, cars are what I know. I could probably. Uh, Depends on the topic. Like, yeah, I don't really. Because the problem is, a lot of people, I don't get high retention span with my videos. You know, most of my videos have an average retention span of about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's not long at all. That's typically me talking in front of the car before even working on it, or showing what's happened with the car and stuff like that. So, yeah, yeah, I genuinely don't know. Like, when it comes to that, because my videos, like, and the thing is, what I do with my videos is I always like I promote every single one of my videos, excluding my YouTube shorts. Those just get out there, right? So, I am ADD as well, so I understand, and you know, um, well, I don't know. Unless you do something more interesting with it concerning that, like, because what are you doing on the motor? You know, because like, are you just like replacing the MDS solenoids, or are you? Yeah, you do. But yeah, it is just, you know, one of those deals. That's fine. And there's a lot of stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I could flip just about anything. I know I could, but I just don't have the knowledge as much. The only okay, so with that, the only way to kind of grab people's attention more is by doing a clickbaity title. To be honest, especially if you've done these videos multiple times, you have to make them different from one another that way. To kind of show, like, you know, like for that, for example, say, hey, look, another Hemi motor. Um, see what I found inside, or something like that, you know. Um, or saying, and I found some nastiness inside, you know, something like that. Thingable Honed, nice. I've done that, except for not on a full size engine. I've honed out the cylinders on. It was actually a lawnmower engine that I took apart. Cylinder. Actually, that was a one cylinder. But yeah, I never did get that one running though afterwards. But to be fair, I was dealing with a lot of crap when I was 15, so it's understandable why. Because yeah, during that, like, I was fighting my body so much just to get to school and stuff. It wasn't a fun time. So that's all good. I ended up eventually graduating from high school, but it took a at that point I dropped out, and then it was a year after. So yeah, like technically I was a year late graduating, but that's fine. Well, the Hemi tick is easy. That's the lifters. That's all it is. You fix the lifters, it'll get rid of the tick, which Chrysler engines have had the tick forever. It's not just the Hemis. You know, old 318s, old 360s, old, like, you know, 3.3s, everything had the tick, right? Oh, nice. See now, and you could actually use, so with that, if you took a picture of the rod and showed that as, you know, your thumbnail, you might get more attention with it. Because, and that's what a lot of bigger channels do, to get the views they do, is to do more clickbaity, right? But yeah, I mean, like, you know, and that's why, like, when I hear a Chrysler with a tick, I'm not concerned. Because, like, it's kind of weird if they don't tick. You know? Like, hell, our family had, it was a 91 Caravan. Greatest vehicle our family ever had, I swear to God. This van had the 3.3 in it, automatic. Nothing special of the van. That does happen, but it's usually the lifters. However, occasionally it's something like that. But this Caravan had a 3.3 in it. It had its tick, you know, like they all do, right? No big deal. But this van had a weird thing and could never really explain it because, okay, you're going down the road and then you get up to about 60 kilometers an hour and the thing would violently shake for about 5 seconds and then it would stop. And it's like, okay, that's weird. And it's not like it was a motor mount or anything like that, because if it was, the shake wouldn't go away.
It illuminates odors with no heavy perfumes and light scents you'll love. Febreze Light.
Oh, I definitely appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Looking for a job with
And no worries.
With this guy, he helps me relax. ZipRecruiter helped with my job search. It works like a free
There you go, Turlo. That's one way to do it. I don't ever pay for stuff on my channel though. Like when it comes to at least paying for people to watch my stuff.
Go to ZipRecruiter.ca and put ZipRecruiter.
Well, I definitely appreciate it though, Robert. Epilepsy. I'm confuzzled. See you later. Have a pleasant evening. Ah, so close. Get it in the back of the net, guys. And yeah, in case you weren't wondering, I am watching the Calgary Flames versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's currently 0-0. Flames are out shooting them and out playing them, but still not scoring. Jury is stealing this game so far. And hey, no worries. See now, a Jeep CJ, the problem is, like, I know the thing is with my content, people stick around because it's different. And plus my filming style is different too, but even what I'm doing is different. With most people, and I'll tell people all the time, is it's like, if you're wanting to do something on YouTube, you have to be different than everybody else. Because otherwise, you're just going to blend it into everything, and you probably won't get much traction, and that's the unfortunate part, right? That's okay. And hey, no worries. Definitely appreciate you coming out to live stream, and yeah, anytime you want some advice, let me know. But I mean, yeah, a CJ7 with a 5.7 Hemi swap is pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but it is hard to be different, but hey, I've done it. And I continue to do it. You know, look at my Mustang build, right? It is different than just about everybody else. You can look at the Civic. Now, the Civic isn't that different. It's just different because it's a first-gen Civic. That's the only reason why. And you just never see them. So, there's that. But Mustang, you know, with the inline 6 in it, you don't see any Fox bodies with an inline with an inline 6. Plus also, like, with ideas I have on the car as well, it'll definitely be a one of a kind that you'll never ever see anywhere else. Only dead fish go with the flow. But yeah, and that's what I love about my content, you know, because I like to diversify my stuff. Hell, even with the Lumina, which the shorts on Illumina do a lot better versus the actual videos in Illumina. But oh yeah, the Will It Run videos definitely, and I've done the Will It Run video. There's one on my channel that was concerning the Civic actually. And that video has like 5,000 views, so it. The thing is, a revival video, while there is a lot of them, if you do something different with the revival, like do a different vehicle altogether. For example, take Apocalypse off-road. He's a friend of mine from BC. And nice goal! Mooch! It's now 1-0. Yay! But anyways, take Apocalypse off-road. He had a Hillman Minx that had been sitting for, what was it, 40 years? And he got the thing running and driving around his yard. Now that is a cool video that way, because it's such a different vehicle. And hey, old school, will it walk? Well, I mean, just get an old diesel and watch it walk away, or run away, as the case may be. Or get a Subaru Flat 4 and watch the crank walk. Because they do. Just about every Flat 4 Subaru has made does that. Or will do that. Yeah, you know, and that's with me, because, like, you know, I never did a revival video on my Mustang, technically. And there will be more revival stuff on my channel. Like, you know, the Monaco was a little bit of a series that way, of reviving it, but then Teen Mechanic took that and did a lot more with it. You know, I just wish he never sold that car, because it was so cool, but that's okay, and he regrets selling it too, so. But it's okay. You know, we all have ones that we wish didn't get away, so. You know, like, my 86 Mustang, for example, that's one that I wish I didn't sell. But I needed to sell it at the time, so it's fine. Because, yeah, if I had more money at the time, I would have kept the Mustang and I would have swapped the motor into it. Or I had another motor technically, I could have taken all the internals out of that motor and put it in mine. And put the new heads on it and everything like that, then put my intake, convert it to a carburetor. So actually, I get a carbureted intake, put a carburetor on it, because that CFI is a terrible system, and do it that way, right? Yeah. But I didn't end up doing that. I ended up selling the motor and selling the car, separate from each other. And the reason why I didn't just drop that motor into Lilo is because that motor was for a front-wheel drive application, so it had the incorrect bolt pattern on it for the transmission. Now, could have potentially made it work with an adapter plate, but I didn't try. So, that's fine. Would have had to get a custom adapter plate made, and I wouldn't have known exactly how to do that. So yeah, I would have had to get, you know, a small block Ford bolt pattern, because the 3.8s in a rear-wheel drive application are, and do it that way, but didn't end up doing that. That would have been a cool little series, actually, of videos, but oh well. Plus, the problem is, if I had a garage, I would have done it, but I don't have a garage, so there's that.
This year, give a gift that's perfect for a season like this.
Actually, I want to check something.
See you at the keg.
Okay, yeah, I have a few. That's fine.
Well, we have to thank our production team again. I mentioned the 2 goals on Pittsburgh 5 goals, so let's go back a month. This is Lucic with his first of the season back in Pittsburgh, and he goes 5-goal on Casey DeSmith. Your top forward tonight. Lucic gets a great opportunity. 5-goal on Tristan Jarry. And we're looking at
But yeah. I ran out of things to talk about now. What's going on with you? You wonderful peoples in the chat. Anything new and exciting in your lives? You know, potentially looking at a new project or something, working on stuff. Because I like to hear also as well what people are working on. It is cool. Oh. Damn. Getting out, filming random cars around Toronto, selling stuff, buying stuff. That's pretty much your life. And yes, as you can tell, my cat's on my lap. It's one of my cats. This is Saber. Rascal is probably in my room. I'm gonna guess. I don't think he's in my dad's room. Or he might be in the bathroom on the heat register. There's that too. That. Well, yeah, it's kind of funny because actually, I mean, I didn't put that on. That's fair. I didn't put it here on YouTube, but actually, and then I'll probably end up doing it, because there's a guy that messaged me on Illumina because I guess he's a fan of my YouTube channel, and he was trying to flirt with me in a way, saying, "Hey, does the car come with the cute owner?" And it was actually my dad that had the idea of doing this, and just the quick wit that he has. I have it too, but I didn't think about it. And basically what I put in there, is, well, yeah, I mean, my dad is single. Because it is his car, technically. It's not mine. He's paid for that. I've just paid for a couple of things on it. But he's paid the bulk of it, so. And, oh, you got a 2.8 to put into a Vega. Cool. Well, I didn't care, to be honest. My clapback was awesome, and I mean, then he said, okay, well, how about the gorgeous seller? And I just told him I'm lesbian, and, you know, and then he screwed off. So, it's fine. You know, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on the guy. And, you know, there's some stubborn freaking men out there. But yeah, I mean, and I can understand that, though, like, wanting to do stuff with a vehicle but not having money. Actually, I get that. Like, something I want to do with my car would be really cool, because there's 2 things I want to do to make it different, which I've seen it on one other car, but it was a later car. It was a notchback Fox body, but it was I think it was a 88, he said.
5 minutes before puck drop, and you're like,
5 minutes
before puck drop, and you're
I want to put Mercury Capri front clip on the car. I've always wanted to do that. They look amazing. They have a sort of wide body look, even though they're not actually, they don't actually function as a wide body, but they do. I think the front end looked better, like the grille and everything does look better. I think the hood looks better too with the RS scoops. Looks fantastic. But then what he did as well is he converted the back to like an 83 to 86 Capri taillight that sunk it in like that. I'm going, that took a lot of fabrication. But, you know, I wouldn't want to do quite to that extent. Like, keep my taillights, but put the Capri front end on it, and then do the, find a Capri that's been wrecked in the front end, and cut the rear fenders out, cut my rear fenders out, and weld them, right? Yes, it is called the Mustang Mach-E, and my opinion of it is I don't really care. Like, to be honest, it's fine. People saying, "Oh, it's not a Mustang." Blah blah. No, it is a Mustang. It has the VIN of a Mustang. Ford says it's a Mustang. It has Mustang styling. It is a Mustang. Now, that being said, I do like the looks of it, but that's about it. And to be honest, people are saying it's stupid, whatever. It's actually genius marketing on Ford's part. You take a very recognizable name, and you do that. And the thing is, even bad publicity on a car gets you so much attention, and it did, and it still has to this day. I've seen quite a few of them out in the wild, you know. But and like that's the thing though. I don't care, and nobody should really care because here's the thing: it did not replace the Mustang. It just added another vehicle in their lineup. And they wanted to go after the Tesla Model X, and which they have, and they've actually done a pretty good job of that. So I don't really care. People can be upset about it all they want, but it hasn't replaced the regular Mustang, so whatever. If it replaced the regular Mustang, that's different. But there's rumors that they're going to make a four-door Mustang too, which I don't think that's going to happen. They could make a four-door that has Mustang styling to it. But I mean, it's possible. They've already made the four-door SUV, so. Yeah, see, that one, I never understood why they made the Lumina and their APV. Other than that, the only thing that I can think of is because they didn't want to pay for another trademark name, right? Because they had to trademark the Lumina name, so, I just add APV on the end of it, and there you go, right? I'm assuming that was their logic, but I couldn't tell you for sure. It's one of those deals, right? And and from everything I've heard, the Mustang Mach-E actually happens to be a pretty good car overall. Now, I have an issue fundamentally with electric cars, but it's fine. Eventually, people will realize that electric cars ain't that electric cars aren't really that good for the environment, and they're gonna realize that that hydrogen fuel cells are the way to go. Like a hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle is the way to go, not a battery electric. Because the internal combustion engine is not the way of the future. Even a hydrogen internal combustion engine isn't the way of the future, and I know that. But because there's only so much you can do with it, and you'll still always have a lot more components and stuff like that. And engines are getting much more complicated. Electric motor is stupid simple. So, and yeah. That's fine. I mean, I put him in a timeout, but and that's what I do. I didn't just block him from the channel because whatever, if he comes back and be stupid again, he'll get blocked. I don't care. I don't actually recognize the name, so. Okay, well, I mean, I did that right away. As soon as he put that message in, it was just like, yeah, you're in timeout. Because I mean, with like comments like that are stupid. I'm sorry, they just are. If you want to see full body shots of me, well, hey, guess what? I've got tons of videos of me walking around my car. Seriously. Out of the what? How many videos do I have out there now? I'm not even sure anymore. Yeah, I do. I see it right away, and I think there's about a second or two delay between you seeing it and me seeing it. As soon as I saw it, I just went and continued talking because I was just like, yeah, that's just stupid.
last year, Kelly was his most productive season in 3 years. He had 23 points, 10 goals. He's already on pace this year for over 20 goals if he keeps this up.
But, you know, that's fine. Oh, 100%. And it's whatever, you know. I deal with them as I see fit. And, and I obviously do have moderators on here. Like, you're the only moderator that's here all the time, but the thing is, even if you're not, because my channel typically doesn't get a ton of viewers when I do these lives, so I don't have to worry about it as much. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some times that I have struggled to keep up, but that's only been a couple of lives that I've done. It makes it so he can, because you've watched his stuff and you see all the overlay stuff in the background, right? He was using Streamlabs to make it do that. Plus, yeah, that's what was using it for. And now he's getting away from Streamlabs because there's a big controversy with Streamlabs since they've taken their entire service and they pretty much ripped off OBS Studios. Like 100%, it's just about the same service. Like same layout, same, similar names and everything. It's just one of those deals. Like, and the thing is, because yeah, like, and I could use, like, for example, StreamYard and do it that way through here, which is actually a better method, but the problem is it costs money to do that. With mine, doing it through YouTube, it doesn't cost me any money whatsoever. And, like, with StreamYard, you can have, I think, up to 20 hours of live video per month, which I typically exceed that. So, if I was to do that, don't get me wrong, I want to have guests and stuff like that on here for some of the lives in the future, but, that'll be in the future. That's fine. I do. I'm the only one that uses my phone. Everybody else uses a computer. And, like, and I figured out ways that I could actually have guests on while still using my phone, like this. But, I just haven't done that, and that's fine, because I could use my computer that's up there, use StreamYard, throw an invite code to my phone, have the camera turned off for my computer and the mic, and then just have it as my phone, and then drag people in when they come in, if I send them the link. Which, I might do that in the future, but for now, I'm not. It's just, I don't want to pay for too many things. Like, I'm currently paying for my editing software, but see, that's fine. Like, the thing is, I won't ever, like, try and force people into, coming on the lives. It's only if people want to. And the thing is also, it's only if I want them to as well. And that's the thing. There are some people that I'd be fine with coming on my lives. There's other people that, no, it's not going to happen. Just like there are certain channels that I will go live on, and there are certain channels that I will not. So, like, for example, Monster Rust wanted me to do a live on his channel, and I said no. With the format of how he does it, I don't like that. And yeah. Nat might actually have fun with the live. And I'd be open to her being on a live stream with me. Roy, I would definitely entertain that as well. Like, Roy actually has a setup in his garage to where he can go live in the garage, so that's kind of cool. Unfortunately, my phone will not connect to the Wi-Fi out there, but... So, like, I was trying to upload a video while I was there. Not this last time, but the time before. And, yeah, my phone just would not connect to the Wi-Fi, so I said screw it. I just ended up uploading it here at home. which I can do, and I can do it without breaking the internet now. It's kind of nice, but it still bogs the internet pretty hard, and it still takes hours to upload videos. But it's fine. At least I can still do a little bit of internet when I'm uploading, because what I do now is I upload the videos, like I take it off my phone and I put it on my computer, and then I upload it through the computer and make sure that the computer does not go to sleep while it's happening. It takes much less internet to do so that I can do other stuff on the internet while doing that. So, for whatever reason, the phone demands way too much of the internet. It's very weird. And now, like, I can't even upload through my phone, typically. It'll just bog down and say there's an error. So, I can't wait for the fiber optic stuff to be in the spring or summer. And then have good internet. Reliable. Good speeds. Because, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's getting old, to be honest, to having to do that. Because I liked doing it all on my phone. Oh, 5G, we're not gonna get out here. There's no. The internet that I'm getting is fiber optic. A little different. Because currently I'm with satellite internet. It's not great. And that's why, like, and when we have the better internet, because right now I know that the live, because watching it back, for one, the sound is terrible on these lives. I know it is. It drives me nuts rewatching my lives. Because of that, the sound and then also the camera at times too will have issues, and there's nothing I can do about that. That's the internet. Ooh, nice goal. Oh god, can I stop saying that? Frick. Oh, it's just annoying when they're talking about, first things in Kraken history, just like, yeah, no duh. They just became a team this year. It's drives me nuts. But yeah, I mean, and to be honest, in the future, whenever it becomes properly available out here, because there's the Elon Musk satellite internet, which is supposed to be way better, even than fiber optic. So I'm in Sundry, yes. I live in Sundry.
Manager Molson says Gordon and the new GM will run the team to do it.
But having two people do this with the expertise that Jeff brings, and hopefully the expertise that the new general manager brings, it's just going to make us better and make us make better decisions. Whether it's drafting a top 10 pick if we ever get one.
Yeah, that happened the other day. And he got suspended for 3 games. No. Has he got suspended yet? No, that's right. That was the Slewfoot from Marchand got 3 games for that. They're having that's right. Brendan and Lemieux is having a hearing about that bite on Brady Tkachuk.
Not exactly. Just because you're wearing a turtleneck does not mean you can do it all. But Frank Saravelli of Daily Face-Off, he joins us on Sportsnet Central. He has a list of candidates he thinks we should be looking for.
I got a big fat cat. Still can't believe McDavid did that. Oh, very, yeah. And that hearing I think is tomorrow, and it's an in-person hearing, and I'm gonna guess a minimum of 5 games, but I don't know. But then also Evander Kane for the San Jose, because he got suspended earlier in the season for
building a way forward.
faking his vaccination.
Is all for it.
That he got, like, he faked that he had the vaccine, so he got suspended for 21 games for that.
All for building
And then
sustainable and inclusive
he got waived the other day
to grow.
and sent down to the AHL. And the Sharks are actually willing to retain 50% of his salary. So it's possible that somebody like Vancouver, for example, tries and picks him up. But there was actually nothing found about him abusing his wife. That was something that was said, but there was no actual proof of that. But he is a mess when it comes to, for example, his gambling addiction is bad. And then that whole COVID thing too. It's just not. He's an amazingly talented player, but kind of like Nail Yakupov, just a mess. Like, if you remember that with the Edmonton Oilers, Nail Yakupov was their first round pick back in, what was that, 2013? 2012, something like that, and he would just not listen to people. He was very insubordinate, and it was just terrible. And then, yeah, he's not playing in the NHL anymore. So he hasn't played in the NHL for years, and he was a number 1 pick. Like, you know, and that happens, unfortunately. But 2012, that's where it was. Yeah, okay. Couldn't remember if it was 2012 or 2013, but again, I know every year, like, Edmonton was trying to tank to get number 1 picks. So, which it's funny that the NHL says, "Oh yeah, there's no tanking in the NHL." Yet I've seen it multiple times in my lifetime.
What's Ozempic?
All right, welcome back to Calgary. 1-0 Flames with a lead after 40 minutes. Moments ago, I caught up with the goal scorer, Milan Lucic. Milan, 3 of your 6 goals have come by way of the 5-hole. NHL goalies, nobody's figured you out yet.
You know what? I just kind of all the same play too, and coming with speed down the left wing, and you know, even if you miss those ones, they're a high percentage shot for a rebound and stuff. But thankfully this year they've seemed to all go in.
Just a thought on maybe how important it is for your group. I think it's the 18th time in 22 games that you've gotten on the board first as a group. Just what does that do for your group, the confidence and momentum?
Oh, it's huge. You know, it's all.
It makes sense why they do it, but the problem is it does incentivize tanking. Like, look at the Arizona Coyotes right now. You can tell they're trying to tank. Plus, this next draft is supposed to be absolutely stacked, too. Like, usually with drafts, it's only like the first 5 or 10 pieces. They're looking right now at this draft that it's about the first 30 or 40 picks are just going to be dynamos. So, yeah, we'll see what happens in this next draft. And there are, like, players in there that could potentially be around McDavid level of amazingness. So we shall see. I love my fat cat. To be fair, I was the one that picked him up, so. Eh. He was sleeping nicely, whatever else, and now he's praying.
Been a few individual efforts too that maybe have been a little bit lackluster and subpar. You don't ever want to fault Chris Letang. He's a great defenseman out there on the ice. He's had a few bounce by him, but it was a really weak start, and the Flames took advantage of it. They just haven't quite capitalized.
Yeah, the big fat cat. I love you. Yeah, you get to see me pet my cat.
But you know inside that room, Serge, they're talking about, we've got to capitalize. We have to finish this man.
Yeah, that's what the Flames are talking
shoring it up. They spent so much time in their end that period. They've got to be exhausted, and defensemen got to be talking to the forwards, trying to figure out a plan. They've got to get down to the Calgary Flames end if they're going to gain any traction. But expect the Flames to come and press and try to keep that momentum down in the Ben's end.
Oh, big purrs. Eh? He's always sleeping. That's the thing. He's a cat. You know. But he follows me to bed and usually doesn't leave my side until I get up in the morning. Like, and because after the hockey games, so which will probably be as well, I'll end the live subsequently and around the same time, most likely. I'll go have a bath, and he'll probably follow me into the bathroom too. I've made him a little bed. He will, I take him outside every now and then, and he's not necessarily an outdoor cat, like, he likes to go outside. And hey, Allie, by the way, if you try and ask me some weird stuff again, you will be banned from the channel permanently. So, just putting that out there right now for you. You know, because you asking me, hey, can you stand up and show your full body? It's just like, that's just weird, dude. So, yeah, that's why I put you in a timeout. So, you know, especially like, yeah, you ask for pictures, you ask for video, something like that, of something that's weird like that, you're gone. That's your only warning. Any second? Hi. It's actually not. I've done quite a number of lives, not just on this channel, on every other channel. You are the only one that's asked that. And also, like, if you wanted to see exactly how I looked standing up, well, easy thing that you can do, watch any of my videos. I have lots of videos of me standing next to my car. So, yeah, no, trust me, that's not normal at all. Oh, yes, right there. Hey, you're a happy boy. You will invite me for a dinner? Well, that's not gonna happen. Because, A, I don't know you. You're some random dude on the internet that literally you just started commenting on my stuff now. And B, I am lesbian, so that's not gonna happen. Ah, silly men, I tell you. Yeah. Oh, right there. Yes. Yeah, I'm very public about my sexuality, so, you know. And there's some people that have a problem with it, but I don't give a shit. You know? My happiness is all that matters. I don't give a shit about it. No, I'm not. I just told you I'm lesbian. Which means I'm gay. Like, yeah, if I was bisexual, I would have said that. Now, see, now all the guys here are seeing what I deal with on a daily basis. I deal with people like him. All the time. Hey, fat cat. Yeah, see, this is the only man I'll ever need right here. He's my big fat cat.
What's Ozempic? It's used to
Hey,
ask your doctor or visit ozempic.ca.
big old fat cat. Love you.
Hey, this is White Powell. Welcome to my neighborhood. One of my favorite traditions that me and my friends do when I get back home.
Yeah, man, to be honest, I get people like you every probably couple of days or so slide into my messages on Facebook. A lot of them I haven't replied to, but every once in a while I like to have fun and, you know, reply to them and troll. Not to my knowledge. I mean, he might be, I don't know. He's just a big old fat cat. And you know, like, Saber's been with me for a very long time when it comes to, you know, ownership. Because, you know, I was only 4 years old when he came into my life. So.
I'm asking.
Or no, sorry, I was 5 years old.
Not getting the insurance advice you need.
And, you know, that was 20 years ago. So.
And get a Desjardins agent who gets to know you. And what you really need.
Hey, Harvey. It happens. Plus, when you deal with men and you're a woman in the car hobby, it happens. Ooh, we're up to 8 people now in this game. My dream car, if it was free, would be a 1970 Dodge Coronet Super B. Specifically, if I could find one. Now, it doesn't matter what color it is or anything like that, but if it happened to be Panther Pink, which is the color FM3, with a white vinyl top and white interior, that would be absolutely perfect for me. But, you know, there's not very many in that combination out there. So, that has been my dream car for many years. Yours is a Koenigsegg? Huh. I never would have thought you and Koenigsegg, but there you go. To be honest, if I was to choose a... Now, if I wanted to go along with old schools, if I had to choose a hypercar, that way, or a supercar, I guess, I would have picked a Lexus LFA. But for my ultimate dream car, it's definitely a 70 Coronet. And hey, that's cool. Like, the thing is, there's not very many people that, like, there are people that love Coronets, but not as many people even know about the Coronets compared to, say, a Charger or Challenger or, you know, even a Belvedere, right? Oh, yeah. And he's perfectly healthy. And the thing is, but that's taking care of a cat. They will last that long. Most people give their cats junky food and, you know, just don't take care of their animals. And also, like, the thing is, too, is I give him a lot of attention, which definitely has helped, too. I very rarely turn him away when he wants attention, so, yeah. Yeah, oh, I know the Coronet 500, that was... It was the top of the line one, technically. When it came to luxuries and stuff like that. But the RT was the performance pack. So, although I think with the Coronet 500, like, you could get the big blocks, but I think the RT was the only one that could come with a Hemi. Exactly. Happy cats do live a long time. Like, my other cat, Rascal, which is somewhere in the house, he is... How old is he now? 13, maybe 14? And you would have no idea. He's still very energetic. He still very much acts like a kitten. And, you know, it's great. And I don't party. So, at all. You know, my idea of a good time is going in the garage, you know, having fun, working on cars and stuff like that. Not really a party goer. Don't get me wrong. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. Hey, no worries, old school. Definitely appreciate you coming out to the live stream. Hope you have a fantastic evening, and I'll catch you later. And yeah, like the 318, it's a much better option when it comes to simplicity and packaging, of course. But not that a Hemi is actually quite a simple engine, but and any of those old motors for the most part are. It's until they started doing the weird stuff like with the overhead cams and stuff like that. That's when they got more complicated, or when they started putting fuel injection on vehicles, for example. Again, those are more complicated, especially the mechanical fuel injection vehicles. But it's just one of those deals. Well, here's the thing. When you can't drink, partying becomes very, very tiring. Yeah, see, that does happen. There's actually, here in Alberta, there was a guy, I was talking about buying his Charger a while back, and it's still for sale, actually. It is a 1972 Dodge Charger with a Slant 6 in it. Which, honestly, I love that. It's so cool to find a Slant 6 in a Charger. And I would buy it in a heartbeat and leave that Slant 6 in there. I'd love to build it out. Get some Aussie parts in it, put a 2-barrel on it, because you could find 2-barrel intakes here in Alberta pretty easily. Or in Canada in general, because turns out we're the only ones that made a 2-barrel intake for Slant 6. The States never got them, which is weird. But, so, put a 2-barrel on it. Let's see, what else would I do? Do some exhaust, put a cam in it. Maybe do some forced induction like a supercharger would be fantastic on that too. Swap it to A833, which is an awesome killer 4-speed tranny. Put an 8 3/4 in it, and just send it. And those Slant 6s are incredible motors. Very simple and very, very robust too. They can take a lot of beating. And Allie, I'm not sure what you mean with that when you're concerning of an explanation. What? That I can't drink? It's because I literally can't drink. I haven't been able to drink for years. So I get instantly nauseated at anytime I have a drink. So it's not that I'm drinking too much and getting nauseated. No, that's just from like a sip of drink. So, but yeah, they're very easy to service. And I mean, EFI, don't get me wrong, I love EFI. And like my car, I would love to put a Holly Sniper 2-barrel setup on it. But, however, EFI is expensive. Like everything that I'd want, although it's interesting because technically, because I have the Durspark 2 distributor on my inline 6, is I could put the Sniper EFI and not replace the distributor. I would just need a new ignition box, because I can't use the original one, and the module itself, and an O2 sensor, and that's it. So, really, when it normally costs people around $2,000, for me, it would only cost about $800, which is something that I'd love to do. It's just, I don't have the money. So, otherwise I would. Absolutely in a heartbeat. Because my Autolite 2100 is nice, but a Sniper is so much better. Oh yeah, absolutely. Slant 6s are actually very popular to build up. Like, most people over here don't build them up, but everywhere else in the world they built them because V8s were at a premium. Where here V8s were a dime a dozen, right? So, and also fuel prices and everything dictated that as well. Like that's why, for example, in Australia, my little inline six, they built those and raced them all the time. Um, like they had a physical race series over in Australia and New Zealand that only allowed you to go up to 240 cubic inches. And most people preferred to use the Ford engines, the Ford inline sixes, and they'd put the Australian heads on them, which had a removable intake and they were higher flow and everything like that. And built them to be 400 or 500 horsepower screamers. Like it was great.
And now Anderson and Crosby go at it. Okay, as Crosby and Backlund behind the net. Backlund was shadowing Crosby. Crosby had the chance in front. He didn't like it. Took exception. Now Anderson.
But yeah, and you know, I have some experience with a 225 slant six. Like my dad had a slant six in his 81 D150. That truck was awesome. And it's wanted to do a burnout so bad, but I think it has the same issue as mine. The torque converter doesn't have a high enough stall for it to do a burnout. Because his truck was actually very weirdly optioned out. Because, okay, it had slant 6, a 727, and then it had a galvanized body, power steering, power brakes, and that's it for options. So it was actually pretty cool. So the thing had no rust on it at all, other than a little bit on the floorboard, but that's only because the windshield gasket was leaking long enough that it started to rust the floor out. But the rest of the body was fine, but it had a dent in every corner of it.
The one we've all been waiting for, which is why it's not just special, it's extra special. It's the season for more heart-to-hearts, more celebrations.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I work on cars all the time. Like, you know, I'm constantly wrenching on my car.
To coworkers,
And then, you know, working on other vehicles as well. But it's not...
the extra special holiday.
For me, it's just a hobby. Like, I'm not doing this for employment. And yeah, like, it is fun. I like working on cars, but there are some aspects of working on cars that I don't want. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah. You know, and doing this, because tomorrow, and it'll be really, really simple to do. With these carburetor jets. Because I should be in tomorrow, so as soon as I have them, I'll bring them back here, I'll film a video on how to do it, and, you know, hopefully I'll be able to dial in the carburetor on camera as well. I might not be able to, but, you know, because I can listen to the engine with the mixture screw and figure out where it's going to be. Wow. This could be like a freaking 6-0 game right now, but Tristan Jarry is just standing on his head. Wow. That's just incredible. But yeah, and it's just, you know, one of those deals, like, I love older cars, especially. There's a lot of the modern technology that I'm not a fan of. Like, don't get me wrong, fuel injection is great. But all the rest of the components that come with a modern fuel injection system is awful. You know, with all these way too many sensors, more than it needs, and, you know, makes it unreliable at that point, and too reliant on computers, you get an issue there. Like, at least with the Holly Sniper setup, all you have is that one computer for the ignition module, really, and then the internal computer inside the throttle body unit, and that's it. It's very simple. And the only sensor that it has is the sensor for the O2 sensor. That's it. So they're a very nice setup that way. They're almost a standalone, like, it's a standalone EFI setup, essentially. you know, it's one of those deals. And, and people will try and say, what is the future of cars? And there will be a point, and it might not even be in my lifetime. I hope it is, but it's not yet. That people will realize the battery electric car is not the way of the future. And I can tell you exactly what's going to pull out ahead in the future and actually be the proper choice, and that's hydrogen electric. Because the problem is with battery electric, obviously there's still going to be a battery in the car, but, that's whatever. But you don't have, 5,000 batteries, you have one, right? However, because you can actually use a hydrogen fuel cell to create electricity to fuel a electric motor. And because of how simple an electric motor is, and also the instant torque that they are a much more superior choice over an internal combustion engine that way. But, and I know eventually it'll come to a point where nobody's making any internal combustion engines anymore, excluding crate motors and stuff like that. But, and that's coming in the next few years. No, there is not a coolant sensor on the sniper units. Like I said, they're a pure standalone unit. It's awesome. Yeah, and it's just a basic wiring setup too. I was gonna say, that should have been interference. That's ridiculous. Alright. See me. But yeah, you can look into them, because you can look at Holly's website. Actually, the Breeze, the thing is with hydrogen, everybody thinks that because of the Hindenburg. But the thing is, hydrogen is not that volatile at all. Hydrogen is actually a very safe fuel system, because here's the thing. With hydrogen, if there's a tank of hydrogen that gets pierced, it's not going to blow up. All that'll happen is all of that hydrogen will actually just expel out into the atmosphere at a very rapid pace. But it's not going to actually explode. And that's all that's going to happen. It's actually safer than propane. And people think of the Hindenburg, but the problem is, with the Hindenburg, the hydrogen was not the issue. The issue was the thermite. And bear in mind, thermite, will burn faster and at fairly low temperatures compared to, say, paper. They're very similar in properties when it comes to that. And the entire Hindenburg, whenever you see pictures of it, all that silver, that's thermite. So yeah. People really need to do their research into hydrogen, realize it's not, it is perfectly safe. And I would do hydrogen any day of the week. Absolutely. And yeah. And what's cool about hydrogen, it's an infinitely renewable energy source. Because you can get hydrogen out of anything. You can get it out of water, you can get it out of wind, you can get it out of, hell, even, a power plant, you can get it out of that too. It's really cool. Hydrogen. And hydrogen's everywhere. And it's not hard to harness it either. So, it's getting it compressed into a fuel cell. That's the trick. But it's not that hard to do. And with the hydrogen vehicles already on the market, you can very easily It's no different than a conventional gasoline vehicle. You pull up to a hydrogen pump, you fill it up. It's about the same time that it takes, and yeah, you're golden. So yeah, no, trust me, that is the way. Hydrogen electric will be the future. It might not happen in my lifetime, but people will finally see that battery electric is freaking horrible for the environment and go to hydrogen. Plus, not to mention with the battery electric cars too, is the whole issue with the infrastructure when it comes to the grids that can't keep up. So, at least the hydrogen, you don't have to worry about that, right? And we don't have to technically do any mining for hydrogen, so it's quite nice. Don't get me wrong. There will still be obviously environmental issues with cars concerning the metals that they use and everything like that. But there's all that. But yeah, like hydrogen when it burns, it's a zero emission system. Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, we'll still be making emissions when building cars. Obviously, that's a given because they're not going to be able to run factories off of hydrogen. I don't think they might be able to, but I don't think they will. But the problem is producing hydrogen, but then as well producing vehicles like for it and any industry. Again, there will still always be oil-based stuff, but we can make a much less of an impact. And yeah, and it probably won't happen in my lifetime either. But it is something that I would like to see more. And there are a couple of hydrogen fuel cell vehicles on the market, but we just don't have the infrastructure set up yet to get hydrogen at the pumps and stuff like that. But there are more popping up in Europe every day, and they're starting to put more in the States as well. And I think there's like one or two here in Alberta too. So eventually it'll widen up and it'll be great. Yeah, and it's I can't wait for that. And and eventually they'll get it to a price point where it makes sense. Because yeah, I mean, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles are very expensive, but they also make them in limited numbers. So like one of the cars that is called a Toyota Mirai. They've been making it for years. And I've seen one for sale, but problem is, yeah, you can't really fill it up anywhere. So it's like, what's the point of buying it? Like, and that's the problem right now. But once the infrastructure is there filling them up, oh yeah, people will be making more and more of them and realize that that's the way to go. And yeah, and it's better than the battery electric where they catch on fire and it's really bad. And don't get me wrong, hydrogen can still explode, but hydrogen is no more dangerous than gasoline is. So it's really not. It's actually safer than gasoline. So the only time it's volatile is if the containment module for it is not up to spec. Other than that, it's great. Yeah. And I'd have no issues. And like, what's cool though about hydrogen as well, because you can actually use it to as an alternative to gasoline as well in internal combustion engines. You have to modify the engine to take it, but it's possible. So it's pretty cool that way.
Backwards toss, Mark Fonty steps in, proceeds to win it, kicks it back to Clark, but he puts between Anderson and Anderson. The reset out of center. Looking by Anderson. Played to the line and out.
Oh yeah, and to be honest, propane has been widely used for a very long time in heavy machinery, and there was even vehicles that were modified to run on propane. Like I had for a bit on my channel, and there's actually one video on it here on the channel. Actually, there's 2 videos on it on the channel, I think. I had a 1994 GMC 1500 pickup truck, extended cab, short box, rear wheel drive, and it was converted to propane. And they actually did a pretty good job. The only problem that they had with this system, because every single propane system that you see on a passenger vehicle is a home brew job. They never did it from the factory. And this one did not have a proper, like almost a blow. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a blow off valve, but it's not. Ah, damn it! Of course they scored. Damn it! I was hoping for Marky to get the shutout. Oh well.
So Pittsburgh wins the face-off, and they quickly set it up. They get Crosby on
Oh, don't get me wrong. It definitely is through water. It's not the best way to do it, but you can literally do it through just about anything. Because it's a byproduct, right? Like, and the interesting part is, you know, like I said, even power plants, you could actually create, like, hydrogen is already created, it's just not harnessed, right? You can actually harness hydrogen through just about anything. It's pretty cool. Yeah. You know, and you could also potentially grow crops to do it too. And what's interesting is, like, in crops that go bad, for an example, you can still harness hydrogen from those too. And I think that's a great way for example, farmers to offset costs. Especially, like, if a bunch of their crops die, we'll harness the hydrogen out of it, right? And sell it to companies whenever else. Or sublet it out for companies to harness it themselves. Great idea.
say it should be offside, but might have gone off the play. Either way, they blow it down. Well, you can tell these two players, Crosby and Gensel, have such chemistry, right? Take a look at Crosby. You can see Gensel, and it's an elevated pass, and Crosby trusts the hand-eye coordination of Gensel so much
So yeah.
that he just throws it into an area knowing with that skill set,
But
there's a good likelihood he's going to get a stick.
you know, it's just one of those deals. I've never seen a factory job for propane units. Like, I know they experimented with it, but I've never seen it from, you know, in a dealership, for example, that way, unless if it was converted at somebody's house. But, you know, and I have been wrong before, but, like, that's the only time I've ever seen it, was a homebrew job.
When that puck gets up like that, and he'll go right to the room. Yes, he will. That was a rolling puck that Rasmus Anderson tried to put on the net. You can see it's rolling, and it goes directly up. Oh boy, that gets him. And it's hard to say, but that might be right in the face. Side of the helmet, maybe. Yeah. There's that rolling puck again. It's very difficult to tell exactly where it hits, but let's hope he's okay. Backlund out against Crosby in the faceoff circle again. So that's 5 points now for Crosby in 3 games. Yeah, that's 3. Cut off by Coleman. Here's Backlund. Monty. Anderson. Takes a look.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The thing is, actually, hydrogen technology has been, at least in like played around with in the mainstream since the 80s. But people have been messing around with hydrogen fuel even before that. So, it is a very, very great system that way. And I mean, and you can do a multi fuel system with hydrogen as well, just like you can with gasoline and propane, for example. Like you mentioned there. It's pretty cool. You know, I you can tell I'm a big proponent of hydrogen. I like it. I say no, that's cool about the Hudson actually running on hydrogen because and it just goes to show you how easy it is. Well, to do that way, right? So close. Yeah, sorry, I'm not talking as much. The Flames are really trying to score here, and I hope they do. They've got a lot of pressure right now. Let's see. Nah, damn it, didn't work. Oh yeah, yeah, it is interesting what you can do with hydrogen like that. And you make a car run a lot more efficient. And like for example, look at oh, hang on. Oh, damn it. So close. Um, like the thing is, you can look at the rotary engine, and the rotary engine has so many flaws when it comes to its design. Yet you throw a rotary on hydrogen, it fixes all of those issues. Literally, it runs so much better. It doesn't really burn oil anymore, and it's fantastic. And it's because of the properties of hydrogen make it so much better for a rotary. And the thing is, like, Mazda actually created a rotary power or a hydrogen powered RX-8 back in the day. And I tested it, and it's like, yeah, it works fantastic. You know, well, there's one playing tonight. Don't get me wrong, and right now, like, it's like I can't wait for the next Battle of Alberta because I don't know who is going to win that, because they are so evenly matched at the moment, and the Oilers actually right now are finally getting depth scoring, and they're finally getting goaltending, which is making them a good team. Because for quite a while, all they had was McDavid and Draisaitl, and they had really not much else. Now, though, they're getting production from all along down the lineup, and Koskinen is actually being a good goalie right now, and Stuart Skinner is being a great backup. So, and when Mike Smith comes back, they'll have one nice depth for their goalies right now. So, no, the future's looking bright for the Oilers right now. It is nice to see both of the Alberta teams actually doing well, though. Come on, guys. Don't let this go to overtime. This is probably going to go to OT. Like, I will say, though, that the Flames play a much better defensive game than the Oilers do. But the Oilers get way more goals. So, but you can look at the goal differential between the Flames and the Oilers, and the Flames' goal differential is actually better. But that's because the Oilers do let in more shots, but that's because of their defense is not quite as good as the Flames is. But that being said, when you have McJesus on your team, it just fixes everything wrong with your team. Seriously, he's a mutant. He's just insane. And that's going to be overtime. Well, there we go. So now the Penguins and Flames are going to overtime. So we'll see who comes out ahead on this. But yeah, so right now, so officially, because the Flames are going into overtime, they're actually tied with the Oilers for first place. Although because the Oilers have less games played, they'll stay in first. But if the Flames win this game, they will be ahead of the Oilers. By 1 point. So. Still can't believe though, Tristan Jarry freaking just standing on his head. But, oh well. It is what it is.
Major part of the game brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Parts that make the difference. That's Napa know-how. And no surprise here, it's Tristan Jarry. He has just been spectacular. Not a lot of work. 30 shots, but he has made many outstanding saves. This, in my opinion, has been a terrific effort by the Calgary Flames. And if not for Jarry, the Flames would have had a regulation win. And he continues his strong play. He's named NHL second starter of the week. He's only given up 3 goals in his last 6 games. And just look how confident he looks and nice and relaxed going into this overtime, the start of the 5-game road trip. Shots 30 to 21.
It's been a while since I've had a live go for this long. Most of my lives lately have actually been quite... Nice. Yeah, online feeds will always be slightly behind. I've noticed that it can be up to about 20 or 30 seconds. Yeah, I still can't believe that goal that they got against Markstrom. Like, not Marky's fault at all. That That thing deflected twice.
Flames are 1-5 in overtime.
It was a nice shot.
They're due. Pittsburgh 1-1 in games that ended overtime, and they've lost 3 here in the Scotiabank Saddledome to Flames. So,
Montefani, Lindholm, Shillington will start the overtime for Calgary. Gensel, Crosby, and Marino for Pittsburgh.
Interesting 3-on-3. Okay. Interesting lineup for the Flames. So.
Crosby directing traffic.
I don't know. I hope the Flames can pull this out, but this season in overtime they haven't done amazing. So. And plus, you also have Crosby, you know, versing the Flames. You know, still one of the greatest players out there.
Gathering speed through neutral ice. Carries in. Crosby knows a pass across. He gets a fan on the one time.
Jeez, guys. Frick, that was close. Oh, here we go. Oh, so close. Ah! I love watching 3-on-3, but also I hate it. Because it's always back and forth, right? It's great that way. It's like a Goudreau, Tanev, and Backlund. Okay, interesting. God! Goudreau with a post and now a crossbar. Ah! Unbelievable.
on the same side on Tristan Jarry. Well, Jarry's whatever he did with the post to start the game is working. Here comes Backlund trying to end this one. Can't get a shot away as he was angled off by Matheson, so he'll circle back, give the puck to Gaudreau. Gaudreau swings in deep. Around the net. Back to Tanev. Regroup back out at center ice. Get a 40-yard overtime.
Let's see. Has anybody else said anything? Probably not. Nope.
Turns back as the girl heads off. Pull it on. And so is Dubé, who takes control.
Let's see. Ooh.
Shoots, and that was on a stick
Nope.
back wide. Around the boards to Coleman. Will up and back to Noah Hannafin. Crosby wants to change. Hannafin brings the puck out. They'll work it over the line himself. Hannafin shoots, and that goes wide. Around the boards. Dubé will have to race back to it. Has time to get to the puck. And now to put it up.
Oh! Damn! Too bad he missed that. Damn! So close. Come on, guys. Ah. Yeah, it's so captivating watching 3-on-3 hockey because it is so back and forth and so much action. Oh wow, you're that far behind. Wow, you're off by about a minute.
This was a really good play by Katarina. He recognized he lost an edge and he was going down, so he better put the puck back to his goaltender.
Inside 2 minutes to go in overtime. Anderson has it. And Gaudreau takes the pass. Wheeling in on Letang. Drops it off for Backlund. Watched by Rodriguez. Backlund
You know, it's going pretty good. Actually, oh, here we go. Sorry, I'm watching the hockey game at the same time. It's currently 3-on-3 overtime right now. Oh! Frick! No! God, no! Go, Jenny, go! Go! Oh! Frickin' Jory robs Goudreau! Oh my god! Oh, frickin' overtime! You know, actually, the Stitch should be running better tomorrow because I should have the carburetor jets finally here tomorrow. So, yay! I'm excited for that. Really can't wait. And yeah, I mean, and things are going well. Definitely appreciate you coming to the live stream though. Hope things are going well with you as well. And yeah. Oof. Come on, guys. Oh. Crap. And now icing. With 27 seconds left in OT. Yeah, that's scary. Nice job, Tanner. Oh, nice. Yeah, and I've heard of the PRI show actually. So you're taking something to the PRI? And now this is going to the shootout. Ah! I love watching shootouts, but I don't like when the Flames are in shootouts. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool, though. Yeah, you know, and like actually, because tomorrow I'll be doing hopefully two things, and both of them filmed. Putting the carburetor jets in the carburetor, and as well as hopefully bleeding out the coolant system in aluminum. So might make it a little more saleable if, oh gee, I don't know, the heat works. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, that's really cool. Actually, I'm hoping I gotta talk with my my girl about that and see if we can make some stuff for my channel. Oh. Come on, Murky. Whew, that was close.
Yep, they'll take a look at this. Take a look. No speed whatsoever. Just trying to take his time. Oh, I don't know. And then from that angle, he started. This will give us everything we need to know. Nope.
Whew, that was close. Went off the crossbar.
I think that's the lesson we learned here. That's not a goal. Well, let me add on occasion.
It sure looked like it was crossbar to me.
Yeah. And you can see how Jets is just waiting to see what opens up. And almost a perfect shot.
Nice. Okay. Whew, that was close.
That's right. Maybe some of that Jari magic rubbed off on Markstrom's goal. Here comes Kachuk on Jari. Kachuk, stop on Jari.
Oh, well, I definitely appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, I'll definitely always keep that in mind. Cause yeah, like, I have a girl that, she has a company and everything that, she's willing to, make them and everything, and, you know, it'll be great with her, but, whew. Like, I do have a logo made. Although it doesn't even modify it slightly, but, problem is the guy that made it for me, which was actually, Half-Assed Garage here on YouTube, he's just so busy he hasn't been able to, modify it for me, so. Yes! Alright, that's one. Come on, Marky. Save one more.
He does the same thing. He's looking for an open spot. Watch the release. He appears to go, and he might go 5-ball, and then all of a sudden just opens up the blade, and he fools Jari.
Chris Letang has to score. Markstrom save will win it.
Come on, Marky. Ah! Damn it. Alright.
Upstairs, and it's on to round 4.
Okay, talk about deception again.
Yeah, going around 4. Damn it.
Showing that he's gonna go high glove side right there.
Yeah, that was a nice freaking play by the tank.
Moment. Yep, he bit. Now I'm gonna go backhand.
Okay, Mangiapane. Come on, Manji.
Mangiapane up next. Mangiapane on Jari.
Oh.
But Jari came across to make the save.
And you're exactly right, Rick. That's the thing about Jari on this one. He's going to propel himself hard from his left to his right, but not go to the post. He goes to the shooter on Japan.
Damn.
Takes away that angle.
Jeff Carter, 36-year-old with a chance to win it for Pittsburgh.
And Marky saves that one, so going around 5. Woo! I was worried.
Glove side, Carter's going to go blocker side, and Markstrom is all over it. Lots of deception in these shooters tonight.
Okay, come on, Lindholm.
Next for Calgary, round 5, Lindholm on Jari. Lindholm, stop on Jari.
Damn.
Bats that one down with the glove.
And I think in this one, Lindholm is just hoping that Jari's going to move a little bit further to his right and open up the glove side. You can see Jari just holds his position nicely.
Jari's just been standing on his head, including in the shootout.
He picks up the puck and works it in on Markstrom. Rodriguez. Brought him too deep. Markstrom may have got a piece of it, but we go on to round 6.
I think he did, Rick. When Rodriguez lost possession of this puck, and it actually goes to his backhand, and no, you know what, it just hit the outside of the post. I don't think Markstrom got a piece of it, although he sure stayed with him well.
Daryl Sutter sends out Oliver Shillington next.
Ooh, Shillington.
6th round. Shillington. Stop on Jari.
I would have went with Dubé, but that's okay.
Jari's able to shut it down.
Yeah, he tried to get the goaltender Jari to open up. Those ultimately, you know, I thought he kind of went to his backhand, but he didn't. There wasn't a lot of deception in that one. It was a fairly simple save by Jari.
Jesperi Kapanen with a chance to win it for Pittsburgh. Kapanen. Stop on
Round 7.
Yeah, similar play, Rick. I'm not sure what the scouting report they have on Markstrom is, but they're certainly all trying to go high, and if not, they're certainly going glove side.
Ooh, this is so close.
Michael Backlund
There we go, Backlund. Yes! Now Markey just needs to save one more.
Similar to last year for the Flames, is that he's going to get him to try and move. He does, and then he goes cross body, high gloves side. That's a really terrific play by Michael Backlund.
Clock top corner, same as Gaudreau.
All right, now let's see. Yes! Yay! Flames win! Woo! Top of the Pacific. Sorry about that, guys. When there's overtime at 3-on-3, it gets really hard to pay attention to what's going on here and pay more attention to you guys. I apologize for that, but now Flames won. All of my attention is now here. Hopefully 66 Salvage is still here, because I apologize. It's just I was very focused on the game here. Yeah, no, I'll definitely keep that in mind for sure. When it comes to oh, he said he's going to get back to it. Okay, no worries. I definitely appreciate him coming out though, for sure. It was nice. So it says I have 2 viewers, but I don't know who those 2 are, unless it's Harvey and somebody else. But nobody's really chatting, and I should probably yeah. I have been doing this for 2.5 hours. My throat is starting to get sore. So I'll end it here. Anyways, thank you all so much for coming out to the live stream and watching me. I apologize for the last about 10 minutes or so that I haven't really been chatting that much. Hope you all have a fantastic evening and a wonderful day, or whatever time you're watching this. You know, maybe it's a weekend or something, so, you know, enjoy your weekend, etc., etc. Anyways, I'll chat to you all later. Thank you so much. I love you all.
This year, give a gift that's perfect for a season like this. To coworkers,